Representative Barnhart.
Mr. Speaker, I move the Conference Committee report on House Bill 2472 be adopted.
Representative Barnhart moves that the Conference Committee report on House Bill 2472 be adopted. To your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Conference Committee met yesterday, adopted Amendment -44 amendment to the bill, which we think deals with the issues that separated the House and the Senate. I urge an aye vote on the motion.
Further discussion on the motion? Seeing none, those who are of the opinion that the Conference Committee report on House Bill 2472 should be adopted will vote aye. Those opposed, no. The clerk will open the voting system. Representative Clem, how do you vote? Clem votes aye. Representative David Edwards, how do you vote? David Edwards votes no. Representative Cowan, how do you vote? Representative Cowan? I'm sorry, Cowan votes aye. Representative Galizio, how do you vote? Galizio votes aye. Representative Bentz, for what purpose are you in the queue?
Mr. Speaker, I changed my vote to aye.
Representative Bentz changes his vote from nay to aye. The motion to adopt the Conference Committee report on House Bill 2472, having received the required majority, is declared adopted. Now, Representative Barnhart, page 2.
Mr. Speaker, I move the House repass House Bill 2472.
Representative Barnhart moves that the House repass House Bill 2472. To your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, we heard this bill on May 11th, when it got 40 votes on its way to the Senate. I don't plan to repeat all of the issues that we talked about at that time, but I simply wanted to note that this bill is a bill that is designed to make minor changes in the business energy tax credit bill, the kind of changes that I expect that we're going to be continuing to consider over time as conditions change. It increases accountability and very slightly decreases the cost to the state. First, it decreases the 10% cost overrun. That's not a change in the bill. It establishes a number of rules of statutory requirements for the Department of Energy to deal with larger projects and gives them additional sideboard authority so that they can actually manage the projects in a more appropriate way and to make certain that projects are actually the ones that we want to support. Probably the most critical change that it makes is in the definition of what a project is, so that what amounts to essentially fraudulent use of the BETC to divide very large projects into many small ones will stop. The Senate amendments to this bill made some changes in the amounts of funds that could be distributed based on the size of the project. And when we were finished with rather than going through all of those, I'd simply note that in the process of the Conference Committee, we changed those amendments yet again. In the Senate, large projects would be limited to a 30% BETC credit. We changed that to 35%. Projects on projects that are above 10 megawatts of power. The smaller projects essentially remained unchanged. And what that means, colleagues, is that a small, I should also note that we removed the exception in the Senate version for wind, so that the wind rule is exactly the same as the rule for all other kinds of projects. Colleagues, this measure protects the smaller projects. It protects all of the solar projects. It makes no change in other projects, because the only ones that actually at this point exceed the kinds of limitations that we're talking about in this bill are the large wind projects. The projects that are being considered on geothermal at this stage of their development are also below this cap, and we will be considering the sunsets on this bill and changes in the law as they relate to this before those will come in for larger projects. Colleagues, I urge an aye vote, and I hope that I can answer any questions that the body may have. Thank you.
Further discussion, Representative Huffman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I'll be brief. Most of you have heard from me before. We passed a good version of this bill on the House side, sent it over to the Senate side. They changed things that didn't need to be changed. I think we're risking the potential of having some of the larger companies do business in Oregon. And a lot of you heard from me that, this isn't just about Sherman, Gillum, Harney counties, Morrow County. This is about Miles Fiberglass in Clackamas. This is about the transport companies out of Portland. These business energy tax credits support businesses throughout the state. It's not about Sherman County. And I'll shut up and sit down now, but I just urge a no vote on this because it's the right thing to do.
Is there further discussion? Seeing none, Representative Barnhart, do you wish to close?
Thank you, no.
He does not. Those who are of the opinion that House Bill 2472 should be repassed, and you'll note on the board this requires a 3/5 majority. Those, again, who are of the opinion that House Bill 2472 should be repassed will vote aye. Those opposed, no. The clerk will open the voting system. Representative Bentz, how do you vote? Bentz votes aye. Representative Greg Smith, how do you vote? Smith votes no. Representative Cameron, for what purpose are you in the queue?
Change my vote from aye to nay, please.
Representative Cameron changes the vote from aye to nay. Representative Chris Edwards, how do you vote? Edwards votes no. Representative David Edwards, how do you vote? David Edwards votes no. House Bill 2472B, having received the constitutional 3/5 majority, is declared repassed.